This is D.S. Yaxheimer, and this is another edition of The Spectre. I really didn't want to talk about, this, but I guess it's kind of sort of difficult to avoid. Either, I was, this time of year, it's Halloween. A lot of people are talking about horror movies and everything, and I'll allude to that. But what happened this week in Las Vegas is just another just beyond senseless tragedy, and most of us, kind of this happens, and then you're just sort of like, what the fuck, it's like nothing ever seems to sort of get done in the aftermath to prevent this kind of tragedy from happening again. And there seems to be no real motive behind it. I mean, for someone to get a suite in Vegas, bash out the plate glass window of a hotel, and start raining bullets, automatic gunfire onto a crowd of concert goers. So it's very difficult to just wrap your fucking mind around it, and it doesn't even seem real. And I think collectively most of us Americans are extremely incensed and heartbroken over it. But again, what happens afterwards? Every time. I mean, I thought back when I was is it 18 years ago now? 18, 19 years ago that Columbine happened in 1999, and I think, well, this will never. It was fucking shocking. This was like, holy fucking shit. It was, we were all just horrified by it. And since then, I mean, just a slew of it. A lot of them are, imitators, and Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris did accomplish what they set out to do, which was to become infamous and to become, I think, legends in their own right. Because a number of these spree shooters, the Virginia Tech one, the individual who in Pennsylvania here, who shot up he worked at a Weiss store. He shot three or four co-workers. I think his name was Andrew Stair. He had an online persona, Andrew Blaze. He was a real fucking nutball. He shot up his co-workers, and he idolized the Columbine shooters. I think they became icons for psychos, and which isn't totally new. I mean, Charles Manson has a lot of groupies, and people like that, and other serial killers. I think Richard Ramirez, just to name, and I don't know. I think of the other ones. Maybe Ted Bundy did. I don't know. I'm not sure. They all have their sick admirers, just people that are I think fetishize murder, and it's become kind of a fetishization of spree killers that the Columbine shooters have sort of created in a very warped way. I think the mental health of this country has just deteriorated rapidly over the last probably decade and a half. Maybe it's just my perception of it, because it's when I was from when I was a young adult to now that I'm like in my early 40s, that I just feel like I've seen it, and I haven't really ever seen that before. When I was growing up in the 80s and early 90s. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just there's always been sick people and serial killers and people of that sort. But and getting back to talking about horror movies and all of that, and when I was growing up, what was scary was Michael Myers killing a few teenagers on Halloween night, or Jason Voorhees going after camp counselors, and Freddy Krueger stalking children in their dreams and killing them. And they in any instant, in any particular film, they didn't kill as many people as Stephen Paddock did in Las Vegas. He killed, well, as far as I know now, I haven't turned on the news again, so I don't want to watch the news again. I don't want to hear about any more of this. Another shooting or any more of this shit in particular. But I somehow feel compelled to talk about it a little bit, and how I'm sort of just processing it. Maybe that's parallels how some other people out there are processing it. But in horror films, Freddy Krueger's really only killed, and I just was looking up online, 43 victims in the films between 1984 and 2010. Now, Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers have quite a few more. I didn't think Michael Myers was as high, but it was 111. And these are they're not real victims. They're just fictional deaths. And Jason Voorhees is 158, but he more rapidly killed people in films. And all three of them didn't have guns. They used various blades. So Jason used a machete, and Michael Myers commonly used a kitchen knife, and of course we all know Freddy Krueger had the gloves with all the blades on it, which was pretty terrifying when you were a kid in the 80s. But nowadays what terrifies me are just fucking real people that are normal. This guy was just some typical, he was a gambler, I guess. That's kind of that. Some people that are gamblers are sort of sketchy people, but he was just for all outward appearances. He's in his 60s. He's led a law-abiding life. Apparently, he was all fairly well off. He wired money to the Philippines to his girlfriend or whatever. It's just a bizarre fucking story. But, just went and shot a bunch of people. Whatever. Hey, fuck it. That's what he did. He just went up to a hotel room. And there's nothing that you can't really stop anybody. You can talk about gun control, and there's automatic weapons should be fucking banned. You don't need them. I don't care. Call me whatever. Call me anti-American. Call me this. Call me that. Fuck you. They shouldn't be available to the public. You don't need them. You can, if you have handguns, fine. A rifle, hey, whatever, hunting rifle. You don't need automatic weapons. I don't think civilians should own them. I don't think they should be available. They're too fucking dangerous. There's other things that are a public health risk that we restrict, and we don't allow, the public to own. Do you need a flamethrower with a fucking grenade launcher? No. Do you need your rocket shoulder-mounted rocket launcher? Are you allowed to own one of those? No, because you could just shoot somebody's fucking car with it and blow them the fuck up. I play Grand Theft Auto. I don't want Grand Theft Auto to be real life. But, and there's just too many defective fucking people out there. They even blocked legislation that restricted Donald fucking Trump, which no surprise, because Donald Trump's about the biggest fucker there is, blocked legislation, or was against legislation that prevented mentally ill people from buying weapons. Mentally ill people should not be able to purchase weapons because they're mentally ill. They shouldn't have guns. I don't know. Seems Why don't you just give a freaking, 357 Magnum to a 7-year-old kid? Hey, have fun. Nothing bad will happen there. It's the equivalent of doing that. So, that's I really don't, as far as most of these shooters are concerned, I don't give a flying fuck about them as people. At that point, I really don't. I don't even care if they're mentally ill. I just don't give a shit. Actually recently, the Dark Knight Rises shooter from Aurora, Colorado, James Holmes, he was transferred. Well, it came to light that he was transferred to prison, which I don't even think is a maximum security prison, in Allenwood, Pennsylvania, near here, just about 20 miles from where I grew up, in northeastern Pennsylvania. So he's here, which is great, and it's a prison that people have escaped from before. So a very dangerous, intelligent individual is in a prison that a lot of Jersey mobsters go to. I think Henry Hill, who was portrayed by Ray Liotta in Goodfellas, stayed there too, notably. But not that that's matters necessarily. But and like, what do you do with these people? I don't know. I'm not really for the death penalty, but I'm also like, why? Fuck them. I don't know what just, if someone does that shit and like, they're sitting there with a gun and they just shot 20 people, fucking shoot them. Hey, to me, shoot those people. If cops want to shoot people, shoot those people. Instead of shooting like unarmed individuals, as sometimes officers tend to do in this country. Shoot those people. Why are you? You can't salvage somebody that is that warped and fucked in the head. You just can't. I'm sorry. I know that's not. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I don't think you're really gonna. I don't know why we have to, keep those jizz stains in a cell somewhere and feed them and let them watch TV and sort of soak in the infamy of what they did. And not that I think James Holmes has a pleasant life, and I hope the fuck he doesn't. But I just don't see why there's nothing salvageable there as a person left, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't really. Hopefully, and I doubt it will happen because, especially the political climate right now, something will be done to prevent this happening in the future. I don't think automatic weapons should be available at our gun stores and at the gun shows. It's not just about background checks, because if somebody didn't commit a crime before, it doesn't matter. They can just go get a gun. The thing is, to these gun stores, when some guy like that walks in and is buying all this shit and buying semi-automatic weapons and stuff like that, does it ever occur to them in this day and age, like, hey, what the fuck is this guy buying all this shit for? Maybe I should, like, I don't know. I guess they don't have to sell it to him. You can get guns illegally, of course. Especially probably out in places like Vegas or whatever. Maybe, meet some dude outside a motel, trunk of their car, show up with a bunch of cash, and they'll give you anything you can go out there and get anything you want. You can buy guns out of the back of a van or a truck somewhere. Still, it's not impossible. So I don't think gun. It's just there's no way to, of course, 100% prevent something like this happening again. And then sadly, I think it's going to happen again. And there's just nothing we can do about it. It's just because there isn't the will there. There's too many people. They love their guns. The NRA is they're just lobbying, like, the cigarette companies lobbied for decades, and kept warnings off of cigarette packs and things like that. It's just one of those things. It's a matter of a product that is dangerous, but it makes gun manufacturers and ammunition manufacturers and some other people a great deal of money. And I think, in my more paranoid conspiracy theory part of my brain, I feel that a lot of people in Washington, and I like to have us scared. They want there to be, they want that fear, knowing that they're not going to do anything about it. Like they want us to think that they're not going to do anything about it, no matter what. It's always going to be looming around the corner as another spree shooter who's going to kill, a number of people. And the only thing that is going to happen in the aftermath are, candles, vigils, flowers, funerals, and but nothing in the way of anything meaningful that would possibly stop another one of these inexcusably just horrific, tragic shootings. There's no excuse in this country that this should be going on. That that we as a society have become so permissive of the corruption that allows it to go on, that we don't have the right as a society to protect ourselves by the way of our political system in order to get these fucking weapons out of stores, off the streets, and away from psychos. And you should be fucking angry now. It's not a time to just say, well, that's the Second Amendment, we can't do anything about it. Second Amendment is the right to bear arms, the right to defend yourself. And you can do that with handguns, you can do that with pepper spray, you can do it with a taser, or some, you don't need a fucking AR-15 rifle. You don't protect yourself. Would you carry around an AR-15 rifle on you if you had a concealed permit to and carry a gun on you? You wouldn't carry that around all day. Most people don't. It doesn't make any sense. And that is all I have to say on that matter. This has been another episode of The Spectre. I am D.S. Yaxheimer. If you happen to stumble upon this video and you want to have anything to say about it, leave your comments below. I hope you all have a safe and happy Halloween, and I hope all of your scares are from a movie you're watching, or a horror video game, or something like that. Something that is designed to entertain you and leave you safe and sound. Take care.